In the heart of the vast Namib Desert, where the red suns met the clear blue sky, lay a small Himba village called Omajewa. The Himba people, known for their ochre-covered skin and intricate hairstyles, lived in harmony with the land, their traditions deeply rooted in the rhythms of nature. Among them was a joyful family, the family of Eshoma and Kauna, parents to two beautiful daughters, Kandu and Mbali. Kandu, the elder daughter, was 7 years old, with a bright smile and eyes that sparkled like the morning sun. She was adventurous and full of life, often found chasing butterflies or helping her mother in the kitchen, where the scents of roasted millet and wild honey filled the air. Her younger sister, Mbali, was still an infant, swaddled in soft leather, adorned with beads, then doted on by her family. One fateful day, as the village prepared for the annual market, Eshoma and Kauna dressed Kandu in her finest clothing. She wore a beautifully embroidered leather skirt, adorned with colorful beads, and her hair was styled in the traditional Himba way, with thick braids coated in a mixture of butterfat and ochre, giving her hair a reddish hue. The market was always a bustling affair, filled with the sounds of drum beats, the laughter of children, and the scent of fresh herbs and spices. Kauna held Kandu's hand tightly as they walked through the lively market stalls. The scents of spices, roasted meat, and fresh herbs filled the air, mixing with the laughter and music of the day. But amidst the joy and celebration, there were shadows lurking, unseen by the bustling crowd. In a moment of distraction, as Kauna stopped to barter with a vendor, Kandu's hand slipped away. The little girl, mesmerized by a stall selling bright, colorful beads, wandered off, her curiosity leading her away from her mother. It was then that the shadows struck. A group of men, outsiders to the village, snatched Kandu and vanished into the crowd, leaving no trace behind. Kauna's heart stopped when she realized Kandu was gone. The entire village was searched, but the little girl had disappeared without a trace. Eshoma and Kauna were devastated, their grief echoed in the wails that filled the night air. Mbali, too young to understand, would grow up hearing tales of her lost sister, the one who vanished into the sands of time. Years passed, and Kandu was no more. In her place, there was a young woman named Nala, who had grown up far from her homeland, in a city of concrete and steel. The men who had stolen her sold her to a wealthy merchant in a distant town, where she was raised as a servant. Nola's life as the merchant's servant was one of relentless toil, but it was also where she found a part of herself that no one could steal away. The kitchen was her sanctuary, a place where she felt an inexplicable sense of belonging. The wealthy merchant who had purchased her was a man of great influence in the city, his sprawling estate a testament to his power and wealth. The house itself was an imposing structure, with high walls and guarded gates, a fortress of luxury amidst the dusty, bustling town. Inside, the air was always thick with the scent of exotic spices and the hum of activity as servants went about their duties. From the moment she was old enough to handle a pot, Nala was thrust into the kitchen. At first, she was given menial tasks, peeling vegetables, grinding spices, then stoking the fire. But as the years went by, her skills became impossible to ignore. There was something magical about the way she moved in the kitchen, as if she were dancing with the ingredients, coaxing them into revealing their fullest flavors. Her hands, though calloused from years of labor, were deft and precise, her senses attuned to the subtle nuances of taste and smell. The other servants would often pause to watch her work, mesmerized by the ease with which she transformed simple ingredients into something extraordinary. The kitchen, though far removed from the red suns of her childhood, was where Nola found solace. The crackling of the fire, the sizzle of meat in a pan, the fragrant steam rising from a pot of simmering stew, these were the sounds and smells that soothed her soul. Though she had no memory of her true family or her Himba heritage, there was something about the act of cooking that stirred a deep, almost forgotten part of her. It was as if the very essence of her ancestry flowed through her veins, guiding her hands as she worked. As the years passed, Nola's culinary talents became the stuff of legend in the merchant's household. Her dishes were more than just food, they were experiences that transported those who ate them to far-off lands, evoking memories and emotions with each bite. She had a gift for combining flavors in ways that were both unexpected and utterly delightful, creating meals that left even the most discerning palates in awe. Word of her skills spread beyond the walls of the merchant's estate, and soon, she was known throughout the town as the finest cook in the region. The merchant, ever the opportunist, saw Nola's talent as a means to further elevate his status. He took great pride in hosting lavish feasts, inviting the town's elite to sample the culinary masterpieces that Nola created. These gatherings were extravagant affairs, with tables laden with an array of dishes that showcased the rich and diverse flavors of the land. Guests would leave the merchant's home singing praises of the young cook whose meals had left them in a state of blissful satisfaction. Despite her growing fame, Nola's life remained confined within the walls of the merchant's estate. She was still a servant, bound by the chains of her circumstance, though her spirit yearned for freedom. She dreamed of a life beyond the kitchen, of a world where she could be more than just the merchant's cook. The recognition she received for her skills only heightened her desire to break free, to carve out a future that was truly her own. When the national cooking competition was announced, it was as if a door to that future had been cracked open. The competition was to be held in the capital city, a grand event that would bring together the finest cooks from all corners of the country. The winner would be awarded not only a substantial prize but also the opportunity to work for the royal family, a position of immense honor and privilege. For Nala, this competition represented more than just a chance to prove her skills, it was her ticket to freedom. The merchant, confident in Nola's abilities, entered her name in the competition without hesitation. He was certain that she would bring glory to his household, further cementing his status among the town's elite. But for Nola, this was a deeply personal challenge. She saw the competition as a test of her strength, a way to assert her identity and reclaim the sense of self that had been lost when she was taken from her family. As the day of the competition drew near, Nala threw herself into her work with renewed vigor. She spent countless hours in the kitchen, experimenting with new recipes, refining her techniques, and perfecting the dishes she would present to the judges. Each meal she prepared was a labor of love, but tribute to the unknown force within her that guided her every move. On the day of the competition, Nala stepped into the grand hall of the capital city's palace, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. The hall was a dazzling display of opulence, with golden chandeliers casting a warm glow over the richly decorated walls. Long tables stretched across the room, laden with the finest ingredients, and the air was thick with the scent of anticipation. Nala was surrounded by other contestants, each one a master in their own right. They eyed her with a mixture of curiosity and disdain, unable to comprehend how a mere servant could hope to compete with the best of the best. But Nala paid them no mind. She focused on the task at hand, channeling all her energy into creating a dish that would captivate the judges and secure her victory. As she worked, Nala felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. The familiar motions of cooking grounded her, and she lost herself in the rhythm of the kitchen. She crafted a dish that was a reflection of her journey, a fusion of flavors that told the story of her life, the sweetness of hope, the bitterness of loss, the spice of determination, and the warmth of love. It was a dish that spoke to the soul, a creation that transcended mere taste and touched something deeper. When the time came to present her dish to the judges, Nola did so with quiet confidence. The judges, a panel of renowned chefs and food connoisseurs, tasted her creation with measured deliberation. As they savored each bite, a hush fell over the hall. There was something about Nola's dish that was different, something that resonated with each judge in a way they couldn't quite explain. Though Nola did not win the competition, her dish left an indelible mark on the judges and the audience alike. They spoke of her creation in hushed tones, praising its complexity and depth. Nala had not claimed the title, but she had earned something far more valuable, the respect and admiration of those who had tasted her food. And while she may not have known it at the time, her journey was far from over. The competition had set in motion a chain of events that would lead her back to her roots, to the family she had lost, and to the life she was meant to live. Little did she know that across the country, in a small Himba village, her younger sister Mbali was watching the competition on a small television. Mbali, now a young woman, had grown up hearing stories of her lost sister. She had never given up hope that one day, Kandu would return to them. As she watched Nala on the screen, something stirred within her, a sense of familiarity, a connection that transcended time and distance. It was the scent of the dishes Nala prepared, the way she moved in the kitchen, that triggered memories in Mbali's heart. Memories of a sister who used to help their mother cook, who had a laugh that could light up the darkest night. Mbali's heart raced as she watched, tears streaming down her face. She knew, without a doubt, that the woman on the screen was her long-lost sister. With the determination that came from years of searching, Mbali reached out to the producers of the cooking show, explaining her story. The producers, moved by her tale, arranged a meeting between the two sisters. The reunion was set to take place in the city where the competition had been held. On the day of the reunion, Mbali dressed in her traditional Himba attire, her skin glistening with red ochre, her hair braided and adorned with beads. She wore a leather skirt, intricately decorated with patterns that told the stories of their people. As she entered the room where Nala waited, the air was thick with emotion. Nala, now knowing her true identity, stood in awe as Mbali approached. She could hardly believe her eyes. Here, before her, was a mirror of her past, the sister she had long forgotten but whose memory had lingered in the scent of food. The two women stood face to face, the years of separation melting away as they embraced each other, their tears mingling with the joy of reunion. As they held each other, Mbali whispered stories of their family, of the village by the Namib Desert, and of the life Nala had been torn away from. Nala listened, her heart aching with the weight of lost time, but also filling with the warmth of belonging. She realized that the scents she had spent her life recreating were more than just flavors, they were memories, echoes of a life she had once known. Nala, or Kandu as she was truly named, returned with Mbali to their village. The journey back was both a physical and emotional one, as Kandu rediscovered the land of her birth, the people she belonged to, and the family that had never stopped loving her. When they arrived at Omajowa, the village welcomed Kandu with open arms. Eshoma and Kauna, now older but still strong, wept tears of joy as they embraced their long-lost daughter. The village elders, dressed in traditional Himba attire, with their ochre-covered skin and intricate jewelry, performed a ceremony to welcome Kandu back into the fold. Kandu, overwhelmed by the love and warmth of her people, knew she had found her true home. She wore the traditional attire of the Himba once more, her skin glowing with the red ochre that symbolized her connection to the land and her ancestors. The scents of the village, the earth, the fire, the food, were now a part of her, as they had always been. She opened a small restaurant in the village, where she cooked the dishes of her childhood, using the recipes passed down through generations. The restaurant became a gathering place for the community, where people came not just to eat, but to share stories, to connect with their heritage, and to celebrate the bonds of family. Kandu and Mbali, once separated by fate, now worked side by side, their love for each other unshakable. The scents of their cooking filled the air, carrying with them the memories of the past and the promise of the future. And in the heart of Omajowa, under the vast African sky, the family lived, united once more, their story a testament to the enduring power of love, tradition, and the scent of home.